Hello, I'm Ray, G4NSJ, back with the continuing story of patent place. No, the Racal RA-1772. I have had problem after problem with it. All power supply. Actually, all the forums I've read, everyone says power supply is a weak part of the whole radio. Power supply problems. I noticed on the meter on the front, you can switch to various voltages to see what's what, make sure everything's all right. I noticed that the 20 volt rail dropped down to about 10 volts, and the result of that was all sorts of weird things going on. Distortion on sideband, a sort of gurgling like there's a hum or something weird. I poked about and it went back up to 20 volts. Poke around again, back down to 10 volts. Obviously an intermittent problem there. So I took the back down, took the board off and had a look to see exactly what was going on. Here's the first little video clip. This is the power supply board here. These are the two bridge rectifiers, okay? This is the one that was getting extremely hot. Can you see the burnt wiring here, look? This one, where it goes into the board, through a little hole into the board, I noticed it was loose. The other side of the board, where this is soldered onto the track, it had come off. The heat from this bridge rec over the years had been amazing. You couldn't put your finger on it, it was that hot. I thought that had solved the 20 volt rail problem. So I thought, I'll come to that later. I decided to replace that bridge rec that was getting hot. Okay, so I got a replacement, well I got two actually, and I mounted it not in place of that one on the board, no heat sink at all. I mounted it on the back panel, you know, that drops down. It's a thick, heavy metal panel. Excellent heatsink. So I mounted it on there and then took the wires across to the board. Now, where to put the wires, that was the thing, because I'd had that little one in the hole, which was all dodgy. The track underneath was a nightmare. So back to the video. So I had to rewire this. What I did was I followed the track round to one of these many connections here. So I wired the new bridge rec to one of these rather than there. Everything seemed fine. It was all working perfectly. I cleaned these little preset pots. You see, these are 4 of them for the different voltages. They'd not been moved for 50 years. I cleaned those. I checked everything over, put it all back together. It worked perfectly. I was so pleased. The following day, the 20 volt line had gone down to half again, about 10 volts. This kept on happening. I checked around here, another one of these, I forget which one it was now, another one of these was causing trouble. So I rewired that. I think I took that board out 3, maybe 4 times. I thought it was all okay. I checked everything, it was fine. After a day or two, a fault popped back again, or another fault came. And it was all to do with the power supply board. The trouble is with that board, you can't get to it very easy. You can't turn it over, because there's 500,000 wires going to it. Very difficult to get to. So back to the video clip. It's now okay. Oh, these switches here, and there are 2 under here, hidden away. They'd not been moved for 50 years. I cleaned those up, wiggled them about. So at last, I now think that the radio is, this part of the radio at least, is okay. It's not going to cause any more problems. There's another shot of the inner side of the back panel. There are those switches I mentioned. These 3 power transistors here. These get pretty hot, but all the wiring seems okay. Everything looks all right. Actually, one of the first things I did before any of that was replace the electrolytic smoothing capacitors. One in particular was getting very warm, in fact almost hot. Now obviously that's not good. You don't want the smoothing caps passing current. That solved a few problems. Another problem I had, if you saw the first video, do you remember the mains transformer was humming? Now that wasn't excessive current, it was just laminations, which I managed to cure that. I tightened things up, moved things around. The transformer was silent. Over time, I mean, I've only been working on this, when did I get it? November. Over a period of time, the mains transformer started humming, getting louder and louder as time passed. And I thought that is obviously excess current somewhere, something's drawing current. It wasn't the smoothing capacitors, as I had thought. I replaced those, it still did that. It was that bridge rec. The 4 diodes in a bridge rec, one of them was, I don't know, going open circuit, intermittent, whatever it was doing. It was causing a lot of trouble. I also found 1 or 2 other dry joints on the power supply board. The trouble is, every time you fold the back down, there's all those hundreds of wires, right? They're very brittle, insulation pops off. Really, no, it doesn't want a new wiring loom, that's silly. But you've got to be very careful. And especially when you take the 4 little bolts out and lift that printed circuit board up and over to look under at the track, there's all the brittle wires connected to it. It's just very difficult. In fact, I read a forum somewhere, someone was saying he's got one of these, the 1772. He said, I can't do a great deal of work on it because the wiring is so brittle. Whatever I touch, wiring breaks off, it snaps. It's not solid wire, it's stranded wire, so mind you, it's the heat as well. I don't know why a company like Racal mounted bridge rectifiers on a printed circuit board. Why not put a heat sink somewhere, or as I've done, bolt them to the back panel, anything. Bolt them somewhere to the chassis, you know, especially that one that gets hot. I have read, it's not a fault, I have read a lot of forums, I've been looking at a lot of info about this particular receiver, and that bridge rec does get hot. So why did Racal, they must have realised once they started production, they must have realised that there's excessive heat coming from that. Anyway, there we are. Obviously they didn't realise that, or they did and they couldn't be bothered. They probably thought, by the time this is 50 years old, some nerd will have it in his shack and he can sort the problem out. I don't know. It's such a lovely receiver. I really do want to get it in tip-top condition, which I hope now it is. Everything seems to be working properly. I've got the top panel for it. The bottom panels are on. I've not got a cabinet for it. I believe there's a cabinet. It's a 19-inch rack. I think there's a cabinet that it can fit into, just a single, what is it, 9U, whatever the rack system is, I forget now. I think it's 9U for one, isn't it? One day I'll find a cabinet, or at least I'm going to have to make a top aluminium sheet for it, because there's nothing on top. I don't want something falling in there, like a screwdriver falling in there and shorting stuff out and causing more problems. But it's working really well now. It's the best receiver I've ever had. I was thinking the other day, actually, what sort of HF receiver or receivers now are people using, like GCHQ, MI5, MI6, all this lot. What are they using now? I don't think Racal are in business, are they? No, I think they're out of business. Or they got sold up to some company abroad or whatever. What HF receivers are there around now? Because GCHQ and that lot, they must listen. I know it's all internet and everything now, but they still listen to HF. I wonder what they've got, and I wonder how much the receivers are. Imagine a modern, today type modern receiver to cover HF, sideband and the rest of it. What would it cost me? 50 grand? I don't know. I got this from Evan. Thank you, Evan, if you're watching these videos. It's been a lot of work, but you gave this to me for nothing, which I really appreciate. A lot of work. I've spent some money on it. Smoothing caps, bridge recs, they're not cheap, are they? Stone the crows. I think that's enough for now. I shall turn the receiver on, watch the 20-volt rail and hope it stays at 20 volts. And another problem I had was the out of lock little red light. That was on all the time. Intermittently it would come on and stay on. Then it would go off. Whatever I've done on the power supply board seems to have cured that. Happy days. See you next time. Thanks for watching as always. Bye bye for now.